There was a dad who called his three little children together. And as they sat together in a circle on the floor, the dad placed a toy in the middle. And he explained to them that he won the toy as a door prize. And he wanted to give it to one of them. He had just one toy, but with a condition. He asked them, who is the most obedient among them? And the children just stared at him, sensing that probably they didn't understand his question. He then asked, okay, who always obeys mommy and does everything she says? Then one of the children picked up the toy and handed it over to the father and said, you win. Well, the children may not have understood the word obedient, but they saw it in the actions of their father. In Table Talk, Samuel Taylor Coleridge makes an arresting statement. He says, if a man is not rising upwards to be an angel, depend on it, he is sinking downwards to be the devil. The point Coleridge is making is that people rarely tread water. They're constantly changing, either for the better or for the worse. And today's gospel is an example of this. The older son refused to help his father, but then changed his mind and helped him. The younger son promised to help his father, then changed his mind and refused. There is nothing more tragic than someone who starts off well and ends up badly. And there is nothing more inspiring than someone who starts off badly and ends up well. And we have examples of so many people who began, badly, but then, they moved forward and ended up well. The parable of Jesus bears a striking similarity to his parable of the prodigal son. And both involve two sons. In both the parables, the younger son represents people who say they will do something and then don't. And both the parables set two kinds of people before us and ask us which one we resemble. And obedience is not what God wants just to hear from us. He wants to see our obedience in our actions. And isn't that what happens every Sunday or every time we gather at Mass to worship? We profess our faith, and God hears it. And I'm sure it is something sweet to the ears of God. But there is something more sweeter, candy to the eyes of God, when we put actions to back up our faith. And how many times in the scriptures we have read when Jesus saw their faith, and it always preceded with a miracle. When you continue to smile at difficult people at the office, or when you say no to personal TV time to attend to your children, when you continue to understand an erring spouse, when you continue to give when you continue to give in times of scarcity, when you struggle to get off your bed and go to church for Mass. And that's the kind of obedience that God wants us to see. And that is putting our actions behind our faith. And ask yourself today, are we like the older son, moving closer to God in our lives? Or are we like the younger son, drifting further away from God in our lives?